Hello friends, it's Stamp Ventures with Shauna, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome, welcome. This week I am getting ready for my open house and we're going to be making a couple of sticky note calendar easels. And I just thought I would share a quick video and how those projects go together. At the open house, everyone's going to have the opportunity to make a Christmas ornament / gift tag, depending on how they want to use it. This project is free and is a thank you for all those who are able to come out to my open house. These two projects are optional. And for each sticky note gift card holder, it's $5. And I just thought I'd share some quick tips on how these go together so that for those of you who are able to make it to my open house, you'll be able to get right to it on your projects. And for those of you who can't make it, you might be able to come up with your own version of this project. So let's get started. I'm going to see if I can find my video on my iPad feed, just in case any questions happen to come up. Oh, okay, there. I think I found it. Oh, hello to Cindy from North Dakota. Nice to chat with you there, neighbor. I wonder what your weather is like in your state. We've had just a beautiful last few days here in Saskatchewan, and yeah, we don't have any snow, so I'm sure we will get some for Christmas, but we don't have any right now. And hello to Laura from Florida. Oh, and I can pretty much be sure that you don't have snow there. Wow, okay. I thought this was a really good, funny big news. Me too. You first. I jumped over the moon. Your turn. Never mind. Yeah, so all of a sudden, crossing the road wasn't such a big deal after all. All right. So, some of you might have noticed that I've used a bumblebee on this project that might not be familiar with all of you. Just recently, I got my copy of the January through April mini catalog, and this stamp set and coordinating die are in the new catalog. And so at first I was just going to make all of the projects with the truck builder punch and the trucking along stamp set, which is one of our online exclusives. But then I thought, well, some people might want another option, so I'll pull out the new Be My Valentine stamp set and coordinating punch. And yeah, then people who are coming to my open house will have the choice of which one they want to make. Or if they want to make two, they could make one of each. So I'm going to pull out the supplies that I'm using for these projects. So I've got a base for each of the samples, and it's 11 inches tall and 4 1/4 inches wide, so it's just basically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock that's been cut in half, scored in the middle at 5.5, and then scored again at 2 3/4 to create that easel part. And so I'll have those bases ready to go, but I'm not going to use them quite yet. I'm going to do some of the decorating. So the decorating is going to be on a piece of cardstock that is just the same size as the front of a card. So I've got two here that are 5.5 inches tall and 4 1/4 inches wide. And these are in Pebbled Path, which is the color that's the same as the base. And I've gone ahead and already put some cardstock, 5 1/4 inches by oh no, 5¼ inches by 4 inches of DSP onto the cardstock. And if you're wondering where the DSP is from, I can show you really quickly that it's for the trucking along calendar. I used this plaid or buffalo plaid, whatever it's called, from the Joy of Christmas. And there might still be some of that available online. I know a lot of the things from this particular catalog are starting to sell out because we're just about to the end of its date. But I think the Joy of Christmas might still be available. And then this paper is the paper that coordinates with the Be Mine stamp set in the new mini. And you can see it's got some really pretty colors. There's some Valentine's themes with hearts and honeycombs, and there are lots of little bumblebees and little jars of honey. It's pretty cute. This suite also has some really nice hearts and flowers. They're kind of enamel little embellishments. And it's also featured with some coordinating ribbon. And I think it is Sweet Sorbet. Let me check on the back here. Yes, Sweet Sorbet is the red that's in this paper. So that's where I got that designer paper here. So we're going to get started. I've already taken and I've glued one of my little mini calendars onto a piece of Pebbled Path cardstock, and this is 3¼ by 2½. And these little Tailored Expressions mini calendars fit just perfectly onto the 3¼ by 2½ piece of cardstock. Just sets it off a little bit by having that layer on top of the designer paper. If you have never used the Tailored Expressions mini calendars before, my friends and I order them from tailoredexpressions.com. And usually, I don't know, like in around maybe end of January or sometime in February, the Tailored Expressions people make a little announcement saying, hey, our next year of calendars are ready. So yeah, in another couple months or month or so, they'll say, yeah, we've got our 2025 calendars ready. And those can be ordered. It's really good if you order them with another few friends, because the shipping is what costs the most for those little calendars. The calendars themselves are not very expensive, but the shipping is what gets you. So yeah, I was so grateful when a friend let me know that they were going to be ordering some, and I got in on the ordering. So these will just get glued on towards the bottom of the designer paper. And there we go. Just give a little bit of an edge to show off the designer paper. And then I have taken and cut some strips that are 4 inches wide, so the same width as the designer paper, and they're just 1/4 inch tall, I guess you could say. Not that they're really very tall at all. They're very just slim little pieces. And I'm just going to create a bit of a border by gluing those down and kind of separating the calendar portion from the decorative portion at the top. Kind of like making it's a little title page yeah, like you would have like on a Facebook page, you have a title page at the top. This is like a little title page for the calendar at the top. So put those 1/4 inch strips down. And then we can get on to the decorating. Ooh, oops, something like that. this buffalo plaid is got a little bit of waviness in the pattern to it. So it's hard for me to tell how straight my little strip of cardstock is, but we'll go with that. So for the trucking along calendar, I've already stamped the truck in Memento Black ink. And for the bumblebee calendar, I've already stamped with Memento Black the stripes of the bee and this tail or stinger or whatever it is. And to get this to work the very best, you want that little stinger or tail to be pointing towards the right, so that when you take and turn your punch upside down, you can see that the tail is going to be on the right as well there. So that's helpful, just to stamp it in that direction. So I'm going to grab some colors here. I'm going to grab Real Red for the truck and Daffodil Delight, and finish doing the filling in stamping with these two images. I'm going to grab one of my foamy mats so that I have a little bit of something to push into with these photopolymer stamps. So there's the fill-in truck, and here's the fill-in part for the bumblebee, which is really just basically an oval. And we'll get this oval loaded up with the Daffodil Delight. When it's a solid amount of ink I'm laying down, I really like to get my stamp inked up well. And you can see it works really well to stamp the yellow, stamp the black stripes first, because then the yellow is such a light color, and you can look through the clear block and you can look through the yellow ink, and it's really easy to see where the black is through it, because the black just pops. It's so much darker than the yellow. And here I'll stamp a red truck. I think this is Real Red. I think this paper has both Real Red and Cherry Cobbler in it. I think that's what it says on the package. So I decided, oh, well, I'll go with Real Red because I kind of like how Real Red pops. Right now I'm just looking at the wheel wells and around the very edges to make sure that centering this ink pretty much in the middle of the truck. Okay. For my sample that I did here, I went ahead and I took my dark Pebbled Path Stampin' Blend, and I just colored the wheels and the center of the wheels with the blunt tip of the dark Stampin' Blends for the Pebbled Path. I'm not going to do that right now. You know, you'll get the idea just how to color that. There is also a stamp that you can do to fill in those parts on the wheels, but I find my lining up for those just doesn't always work all that well for me. So I just find it easier to color with the smaller tip of the Stampin' Blends. So now, we need to do a couple more things for the bumblebee, or one more thing anyways, before we punch it out. I'm going to grab a face. So the face that I did, or the smile, yeah, I guess it's a face, that I did for this bumblebee's got kind of the winking bumblebee. And for this one, I've grabbed a little bit of a different face. There's like 4 different ones in this stamp set. So if you're working on this particular project and you come to my open house, yeah, take a look, because if you want to change up the expression on the face, you're welcome to mount a different face onto the block. All right, now we'll pull out some punches. I got this one right here, so I'll maybe punch out the bumblebee to begin with. So there it is with the little stinger tail on the right-hand side. And, okay, get ready. This is the 3D portion of the video. Now, as you can see, this actually not just one little heart, two little hearts have popped out from up at the top. And this larger heart actually punches out the bumblebee's wings. So as you can see, I stamped them a little bit to the right because that's the direction that they go in the punch. And I'll punch that out. Here we got more three-dimensional. There we go. And then I could use this little heart that's right here and stamp the antenna on it. But it's sometimes easier to stamp it on the scrap first and then punch it out. The lineup sometimes is slightly easier. So that's what I'm going to do here, is I'm just going to use another part. We're using all the little bits of this piece of white cardstock. I think this white cardstock piece is about 4 1/4 by, I think 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, something like that. Oh, there's my wings. So I've got 2 bonus hearts here for something else. Oh, wonder, oh, can I reach in there? Just, you know, it's a little tight. I'm going to just take a bit of this off there, and maybe that'll help me to reach in a little bit better to punch out the antenna. There we go. Woo! More 3D portions to the video. Hopefully I can find all the pieces that I need. There we go. And I'm going to glue this together right away, even before I punch out the truck, because I want to give it a little bit time for the glue to set. So I'll just put a little bit of the liquid glue here and set the bumblebee on top. I kind of liked it with the wings angled just a little bit. And then I'm also going to put just a tiny drop of liquid glue there. And I'll tuck the antenna underneath there. There. And I'll just let that set for a few minutes. And while I do that, I'll punch out the truck. So, see if I can get that lined up. There we go. Oh, that one didn't do as much of a 3D pop. Okay. Now, I'll give that a minute more while we're waiting. Up here in the right-hand corner of my calendars, I've got every day is a fresh start. So I've stamped 2 pieces here that say that already, and they are 1 1/4 inches wide and 1 3/4 inches tall. And that saying, every day is a fresh start, comes from the Trucking Along stamp set. And I thought it worked so well for calendars, you know, starting each day fresh works just really awesome for the project. And I've grabbed the old tailored tag punch, and I'm going to clip a banner, punch a banner at the bottom of each of these pieces of white cardstock. But if you don't have the old tailored tag punch, you can just use your scissors. And the best way to do that is to snip directly in the middle to create that center snip, and then work from each corner towards that center snip, and that helps you to get banner tails that are pretty even. I really struggled. I used to just find it so hard to make banner tails. And then when we were taught this at one of our Stampin' Up! Conferences, how to do that center snip and then work towards that, it was just like, oh, yes, that's the trick. That's what makes it so much easier. So I'm going to glue these 2 pieces up in the right-hand corners. like that. And this one. Oops, might want to over that a little bit so I can see a couple of the colored stripes on the right-hand side. All right, and so now I'm going to take and I'm going to pop this bumblebee up just a little bit with some dimensionals. And here was something that was suggested at our last online convention. This Be My Valentine stamp set is what we used at the online convention to make our projects. They suggested putting your dimensionals over top of where the wings and the antenna are attached to the body to give them extra stability. So I thought that was a good idea. So I'm gonna glue the bumblebee down, and kind of decided it kind of looked good if it overlapped a little bit with that Pebbled Path cardstock that was going across the front here. And I'm going to do the same thing for the truck. Grab a couple of dimensionals and pop it up. Now, when I put the dimensionals on the truck, I'm going to put one like down towards the bottom here, because I've got a little animal I'm going to stick into the truck, into the back bed of the truck. So I'm just trying to leave a little bit of space for some legs there. And I'm going to, same thing, kind of make the truck almost like it's driving down that road of Pebbled Path cardstock. It's like a little path for the truck to be scooting down. Now I have a bunch of things that I've die cut out in this plastic case. This is an old embellishments case. This had beaded pearls in it at one point, and I don't know if you can see these very well, but it's a little sheep that I've cut out from the Night Divine dies. And that's the dies that have the Holy Family and the camel and, you know, all parts of the Nativity. And they're from the Christmas mini catalog. And I discovered that if you tuck that sheep down in there, he fits perfectly, or she fits perfectly into the back of the truck. And so having used the dimensionals to lift the truck up, I can now tuck this little sheep back there. I've been, you know, looking for a while for things that might fit into the back of the truck. And I was so pleased to find this. I was going to use a glue dot to tuck that in. And I'm just looking to see where my glue dots have gone to. And they're hiding on me. I think, let's see. Oh, they're on the other table. Hang on. I have a big, thick new roll of glue dots, and I knew they were somewhere, and they were out at the other table for a different project. I like to pick up my glue dots with the pokey part of my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to put that glue dot in the back of the sheep. And then I'm going to tuck it down like this. There we go. So now we've got the sheep going for a ride in the back of the truck. And last thing I did for my calendars is I decorated them with some little flowers. And these tiny little flowers are from a completely different set of dies. They're called the Sending dies, and they go they go with this set of dies that coordinate with sending smiles. And I think I've got the actual little die itself out by my die cutting machine, but it's part of this set, and it cuts 2 flowers at a time. And they're just the right size to go onto these little calendars. So I've got some yellow flowers that are daffodil, and I've got some yellow flowers that are lemon lolly. I think the lemon lolly, it is going to coordinate a little bit better with the color of the sticky note pads, but the daffodil really goes with the bumblebee. So you can kind of pick and choose what colors you want. And how did I do this? I think I was like doing like 3 different flowers for each calendar. So actually, oh, I know what I did with this, the bumblebee. I made it so that the flowers were like a little trail to show the motion of the bumblebee going on its journey through the air. So we'll do 3. Let's see, we've got lemon lime twist, and I think this is pool party, and our petal pink. There we go. So there's the journey of the bumblebee, and then there's another one up here in the yellow to bring to point that every day is a fresh start. And then let's see, for the truck, we're going to do a green and a yellow and a pool party, something like that. And this is my suggestion for gluing these little flowers down. I just took and put a glue dot right in the center of the flower and glued it down. And you could maybe use a little dab of liquid glue too. And the only thing about this is that then you get this little sticky part in the middle of the flower. And I was like, oh, that's no good to have, you know, stickiness in the center of the flower. But after you've got your glue dots on the project, then you can go ahead and grab some rhinestone gems, just the smallest one, rhinestone basic jewels. And I'm going to pick up these with my putty end, and I'll stick those, whoops, right into the center of the flowers, and it covers up any stickiness that would be coming through from the glue dots. So I was like so pleased to quickly be able to stick them down with a glue dot, and then to be able to cover up that center stickiness with a rhinestone. So I can grab a couple more glue dots for this project, and we're pretty much done. And what I'll do is I'll just show you quickly how these attach to the base, so that you get that folded easel effect, and how they can stand up. They're kind of like a desktop little calendar note-taking station. There we go. Oops. And yeah, that was the center of that flower that stuck to my finger. That sticky, that glue dot really is sticky in the center of the flower. So it is a good thing that I am covering them up with a gem in the middle. You know, I haven't checked any comments that have come through lately. Oh, thank you, Cindy, for sharing the video with your stamping friends. You got about 2.5 inches on Friday, and it's been in the 30s since then. It's been melting, so it's going to be, it's okay. Today it's been melting. So yeah. Okay. That's, so you are getting some of the, you get a little bit of the warmer weather, but yeah, depending on how much snow you got, we're really dry here, and the farmers are quite concerned, actually. It's not looking good for moisture for next year. But all of us who like to walk outside and go Christmas caroling outside and do all that kind of stuff, the rest of us are happy. So, and there was another I'm really liking these calendars. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I'm glad that you like them. They're pretty easy, and I like that you can get your little place to put notes and the calendar all in one. And I like that the calendar is the part that stands up and the notepad is the part that lays down, so it's easy to jot a note on it. Okay, so now we're ready to glue it all together. Going back to the bases here, the easel bases, and as you remember, I scored at 5.5 and then again at 2 3/4. It's going to stand up like that. And the important thing is that when you glue this piece to the base, that you only put glue here, because you want it to be able to easel up like that. And if there's glue here at the top part, then it's just going to be more like a card as opposed to an easel. So that's the important thing, to remember to put glue just at the bottom part. So get this, and you can just line them up like that. Maybe I'll even take and set this, oops, there we go. I'll set this punch on it just to hold it in place. Make sure that it's not going to wiggle around on me. Same thing with this one, glue just at the bottom to create the easel. And I need another punch to hold this for a minute. And so then the last thing is to glue the sticky note pads down. So they're going to go on the inside, and I lined my edge of my notepad right up with the edge of the cardstock, because if I push it back too far, then the calendar is at a really severe angle. I kind of liked it so the calendar was at a little bit of a wider, yeah, not quite so straight up and down. And so hopefully that's mostly glued, to make sure I'm gluing my sticky notepad the right way. There we go. There, just like that. And maybe I'll put the punch on here again just to get everything to set a little bit more. And these are great stocking stuffers. They fit nicely into a stocking and are handy, things that can be used. Not just little knickknacks that will sit around and collect dust. The other thing that I was hoping, and I've just grabbed an envelope here. These are our medium-sized envelopes. And so basically, these calendar sticky note easels are the same size as a regular medium-sized card. And I tried to get some sticky notes that weren't too thick in hopes that maybe they would fit in a medium envelope. We'll see if I can make this work. Ooh, it's tight, but I think, ooh, I think you can maybe just do it. Ugh. It is tight. The original samples that I made had sticky notes that are like probably about another third thicker than these ones, and these ones definitely won't fit in an envelope. But these sticky notes, I'm trying to remember how many sheets are on them. Does it say here? No, it doesn't. But there's maybe only like 75 sheets on the pad or something instead of 90 or 100, so it's close to fitting in there. You might be able to to make it work. And if not, you could still create, you know, get some more designer paper out and create an envelope from designer paper for them to go in as well. So there you go. We have 2 calendars / sticky note easels ready to go into stockings. And for those of you that are coming to my open house on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night, because there's 2 choices, if you haven't already been in touch with me, if you're wanting to make one of these, please let me know so that I have enough of the paper and whatnot cut and ready to go. And if you're not able to make it, well, I hope this gives you an idea of how you can do these little projects yourself at home. Even if you don't have mini calendars, you could still do a design there and create a little spot for the sticky note pads. And always handy to have them. I'm going to take one last look for questions. Doesn't look like any have come through, but yeah, thanks for joining me tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and hop on. I'm not sure at what time, but I'll show the instructions for the free project at Wednesday's open house, and that's the Oh Holy Night tag or tree ornament, depending on what you want to use it for. And I'll show quickly how that goes together as well, so that those of you who are coming will be able to, be off and running with the projects when you come on Wednesday. It's going to be a fun evening and afternoon. I'm going to have some hot cider and some Christmas treats. Everybody who comes will get their copy of the new mini catalog and also the celebration brochure. Yeah, so thanks very much for stopping by and tuning in here today. If you have any questions, remember, I'm Stamp Ventures with Shauna, and we'll talk to you another day. Bye for now.